Hi, folks. I'm Father Joe Grimaldi. You can call me Joe, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast. But now, here's our host and friend, Ken Calvert.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast. I'm staring at, but not even relatively close, to Father Joe Grimaldi because he's coming to us from Naples, Florida, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Birmingham, Michigan today. The Father Joe podcast, proudly supported by Hoot McInerney Star Lincoln on 12 Mile Road, just east of Telegraph, home of the Star treatment. I want to talk to you about Lincoln Copilot 360, the next generation of safety on the road. It's a package of Lincoln's 5 most popular driver assist technologies. It's available in all 2020 models. It's a sophisticated extra set of eyes to help you keep your family secure on the road ahead. Now, this includes a 360-degree camera, active park assist plus, evasive steering assist, reverse brake assist, and adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist, which includes stop and go and lane centering as well as speed sign recognition. This upgrade from the standard Lincoln Copilot 360 helps keep your journey seamless and stress-free. Stress-free driving, that's another reason to visit Hoot McInerney Star Lincoln on 12 Mile Road, just east of Telegraph. It's the home of the Star treatment. Well, how are things going in Florida, my friend?
Things are going well. Busy, but good.
Yeah, I know you've been busy. The good pastor, Casey Jones, down at St. Elizabeth Seton, I'm told by Father Joe Grimaldi, is on vacation.
Correct.
And your other assistant, and that would be Father
Luis.
Father Luis is not feeling well.
Correct.
He's down with the flu, simply the flu.
Yes.
And not that other nasty virus going around.
No, but this is nasty enough anyway.
So you've done all the heavy lifting. You've done all of the masses, all of the confessions. You're on call 24/7, basically. So you have been one busy cowboy.
Yes.
The modesty on this man amazes me each and every day. I go through all of that, and he just goes, "Yes." He's going to.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you should be very proud of yourself.
Well,
I noticed that this week we had what they call an apparition. We celebrated the apparition of Our Lady of Lourdes, and in talking to you in the past, there are only 3 apparitions that are recognized by the Catholic Church. Am I correct so far, sir?
Well, there are 3 popular ones, yes.
3 popular ones, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call an apparition a miracle?
Just like you would use that word for other things as well, but it's not technically a miracle. It's an apparition means that the Blessed Virgin appeared physically to people. And so she is there, the people are there, they're listening to her, and she is speaking with them as another person would. So it's a miracle in a way because it's certainly something out of the usual, but by the same token, it's not like a healing that has taken place, even though sometimes people attribute healings during the time that the Blessed Mother appears, but it's not really a miracle. I can tell you a little story of something that happened in Royal Oak a number of years ago. It was kind of an amusing little story because the pastor of the Protestant church called the pastor of the Catholic Church the Basilica of the Little Flower. And so the pastor said, I have something to tell you, good news and bad news. The Blessed Mother has appeared, number 1, but she's got the wrong address. Okay. And you wouldn't believe the popularity of what ensued. That little comment started a number of people appearing every night. The crowds grew in big numbers. Not only did the crowds grow, people saying the rosary, praying, and so on in front of the building where the Protestant church is, but there were stands, food stands building up, and people were selling ice cream and things of that sort.
Yeah.
In any case, it was an interesting event that took place over about, I'm going to say, a lot of weeks. As it turns out, there was no apparition. it was an electrical break in the building, which caused something to look like an image of the Blessed Mother. Now, do good things come out of this kind of thing? Yeah. It caused people to pray. Believe it or not, every night people would gather because they said the Blessed Mother appeared somewhere between 11 o'clock at night until 3 in the morning, and whatever the case might be. Wow. So people would gather just to pray. They prayed the rosary, they prayed, and so on. So some real good things happened from that mistake. But again, it all leans on the fact that people thought that she had appeared.
Well, that's right up there with people that actually believe that there is some sort of an appearance on a taco or potato chip. You know, that's when you take an apparition to a point of being totally ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, but this was, yes, it is. But by the same token, it's on a grander scale, okay? We're talking about crowds of hundreds of people gathering. So, I mean, I agree with you, but by the same token, they didn't realize that it was an electrical break.
Right.
And yet it did cause this image that looked somewhat on the building.
Yes.
Someone like the Blessed Mother. And of course, what it did cause was people at least were praying. Because this lasted for weeks. It was not a one-time deal that, just a one-day situation. It went on and on and on. And this is why the pastor, said, good thing the Blessed Mother has appeared, but she's got the wrong address.
Wrong address, right?
Yeah, she's supposed to be at the Catholic Church, not here.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to say real quickly, but anytime self-examination comes out of an event in terms of your moral compass, that perhaps is a good thing.
No, all I was going to say is I agree with you wholeheartedly, because the good thing that resulted from that was people started to pray.
That was one of three. The church recognizes more than three. It's a blessed event, not necessarily a miracle, but in terms of popularity, that's one. What would be two, and then number three?
Fatima would be another one.
Our Lady of Fatima.
A Lady of Fatima, of course, there were three young people that witnessed the Blessed Mother's message. And, of course, even the message sometimes can get confused. In any case, the Blessed Mother is just giving them warnings about living their lives in the best way possible. Would the children make sure that they would send that message to others?
That's interesting. And that, again, was an apparition, which comes from the word appear. Let's go back for a second to Lourdes. There's water involved in Lourdes.
Yes.
People bathe in that, hoping for a cure, a miracle.
Oh, you got it. You could explain it. It's it's basically the healing waters, the waters that are filled with chemicals that really help to heal the individuals. Every year, people will gather around this time of the year, and particularly the Knights of Malta do bring the sick with them and let them bathe in the waters, hoping for healing. So it is something that happens even today, every year. The Knights of Malta have it as part of their task to bring the sick to Lourdes for the healing.
Now, what about Fatima, Our Lady of Fatima? Is there also that sort of pilgrimage that people will take? I believe I've always heard that people go on pilgrimages, I guess. Is that the correct way?
Sure, pilgrimages.
To visit Our Lady of Fatima, the shrine of.
Big numbers. They go annually, and they spend a lot of time there praying. Sometimes they'll put a little memorial by the shrine so that people know that this miracle occurred. And Thanksgiving for the Blessed Mother, they leave something there. But basically, it's the Blessed Mother's appearance to the people in general, but particularly in Fatima to the three children.
And people have claimed that they've been healed, correct?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And of course, people have taken that pretty seriously. I'm going to bring up something else right now, but there's the Medjugorje is another one that's always in question because a lot of people feel that they've gone there, they've held up their rosaries, and the rosaries have turned into gold, as it were, and so they feel that they've seen the Blessed Mother and so on and so forth.
Where is the Medjugorje?
Eastern Europe, so it's in that general area, and people do go regularly, although Rome has not claimed that it was true.
Okay. Continue, please.
The third one, which is very important, we celebrate the Feast of the Immaculate Conception in December 8th. And that feast is celebrated highly in the United States because under the title of the Immaculate Conception, our Blessed Mother is the patroness. So we speak about the patroness of the United States. It's the Immaculate Conception. Now, when we speak about the patroness of the Americas, that's all of the Americas, we're speaking about Our Lady of Guadalupe. Now, when we speak about the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe, she appeared to this poor farmer, Aztec, Indian, Hispanic, and of course, we're talking about the 16th century. And so the Blessed Mother appeared to this fellow, a poor fellow who was in the fields. And she said to him, I would like you to go tell the bishop that we need to build a church here. And so the poor guy, he took her at her word. And so he went, and the bishop pretty much laughed at him and told him to go away.
Of course.
She appeared again. And this time she said, please, tell the bishop that you've spoken to me and tell him that he should build a church here. And of course he did that. And again, the bishop said, no, forget it. And so the third time she said, please go back to the bishop. And by the way, I would like you to tell him that you did see me and you did speak with me. His name was Juan Diego. And Juan Diego went to the bishop, and when Juan Diego opened up his cloak, it was filled with roses. It was just a miraculous undertaking that had taken place, let me put it that way. And the bishop finally did. And of course, now today in Mexico, you have in Tepeyac is the name of the area. You have this wonderful, almost like a cathedral, where Our Lady of Guadalupe is very much honored. You probably know that the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, it's also in December, on December 12th, and under the title of Our Lady of Guadalupe, she is the patroness of all of the Americas. Now, if people have any type of Hispanic background, Our Lady of Guadalupe is central in their lives. And it's the only image of the Blessed Mother that seems to be a pregnant woman with open arms, welcoming people and loving people. So it's an interesting image. All the others, we have the beautiful pastel colors and things of this sort.
Yeah.
But here we have a woman, a mature woman who is pregnant, and December 12th is the feast day, and it's celebrated throughout the whole Spanish-speaking world. So much so that in Mexico and South America, it is a wonderful feast, a feast to be celebrated and to a great scale. And then a few days later, they celebrate the feast of Saint Juan Diego, the one who received the Blessed Virgin. And once again, what is the message of the Blessed Virgin? The message is the same in all three, and that is that people should pray more. People should look for peace, not war. People should dedicate themselves to doing the way of the Lord. And so this is the type of message that is presented each time.
The Blessed Virgin spoke prolifically and at length about peace, didn't she?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Peace was really a major part and principle of her
message. Yeah.
And message. And that's a good thing. Boy, do we need that now.
Unfortunately, it's something that's needed throughout the ages, but now we feel it more, we talk about it more, because of the means of communications is so much more quick and so on, we see where peace is needed throughout the world to a great extent today.
You know a lot about the various languages, and just let me jump in for a second. Where does the word peace come from?
Well, the word pax, P-A-X, is the Latin word.
Is there a derivative of peace somehow in the Bible?
Again, peace itself is the derivative of many other things.
We put so much emphasis on the word peace now. In Scripture, I just have never been able to pinpoint where the element, the idea, the suggestion, peace, where it came from.
Well, when we speak about peace, we speak about the absence of war. But also we speak about something else. We speak about the righteousness within the individual. In other words, even though there might be a war going on between me and someone else, if I am confident about who I am before Almighty God and I am at peace with myself, I have a great deal of strength and confidence. So peace is interpreted both ways. Yes, the absence of war, but sometimes even in peaceful times, you have people that are not at peace with themselves. So I'm not playing games here with words, but by the same token, what I'm trying to say is the absence of war is one thing, but more importantly, each and every person should be at peace with themselves.
We say it each and every Sunday. Peace be with you, and also with your spirit. I just find this an interesting topic. So we've covered the 3 apparitions.
There are so many other apparitions.
But those are the big 3 to say. You do believe in miracles, right? I mean, the old
I do.
Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles?
I do, yes.
Okay, you do. And, of course, you're a canon lawyer, so, of course, that's a part of what you do within the Catholic Church. I think we learned a little bit more, at least I did, and I think when I learned something, a lot of people also out there do, at least bits and pieces, if you will. And, of course, we continue along. It's so much fun for us to be able to do this because we were kind of concerned at one point that we wouldn't be able to do it. So in its own right, this is, although you can't see my apparition right now, but I can see you in Naples, Florida.
Okay.
So I have an apparition of Father Joe Grimaldi. He's not having one of me today. However, it's just great to be able to go one-on-one with you, some 1,200 miles apart. And for example, today we had a good chat about the various apparitions within the Catholic Church. So thank you for joining us, everybody, on the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast. I'm Ken Calvert, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast.
I look forward to it as well. Take care. This is Father Joe Grimaldi, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Father Joe podcast.
If you'd like, you can email us. It's frjoepodcast@gmail.com. That's frjoepodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. Simply search Father Joe Grimaldi. And thanks for listening, everyone.